Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
We believe that all to the magnificent mosaic that is America. Radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream. Change has come to America.
Believe it.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of imagination.
Turn up your mind.
You retweeted an organization called Britain First, one of the leaders, 3 times. And this
Well, 3 times, boom, 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 quickly.
Right.
Yeah.
But this caused huge anxiety and anger in my country, because Britain First is basically a bunch of racist, fascist.
Of course, I didn't know that.
Well, that's what I wanted to clarify with you. What did you know about them when you did those?
Well, I know
retweets?
nothing about them, and I know nothing about them today other than I read a little bit. And I guess, and again, I'm in the United States, so I don't read as much about it. Perhaps it was a big story in Britain. Perhaps it was a big story in the UK. But in the United States, it wasn't a big story. I did a retweet. You know, retweet. Sometimes you do. Retweets are very... when you do your own tweeting, or you do your own social media, it's fine. When you do those retweets, they can cause problems because you never know who's doing it to start off.
The way it was interpreted, because you didn't take down the retweets for several weeks, the way it was interpreted was that you were effectively endorsing this bunch of racists, and that caused a lot of anger.
Well, I don't know who they are. I know nothing about them, so I wouldn't be doing that. And I am, as I say often, I am the least racist person that anybody's going to meet. And certainly I wasn't endorsing anybody. I knew nothing about them.
It's the most ignorant man in the world. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. He retweeted, boom, boom, boom. I didn't know about them. This is a man who takes meetings with Nigel Farage. This is a man who was like pro-Brexit. Okay, this honest to God man who had Steve Bannon, an uber white nationalist, as his campaign manager, and then joined him in the White House. But he says he didn't know Britain First. He didn't know who they are, and he retweeted boom, 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 boom. So his his defense is pleading ignorance, which, as you know, is no defense. You can't say, you know, when it comes to the law, you can't say, you know, I didn't know there was a law, therefore I did it, and plead ignorance as a defense. So, but check this out. Okay, so he says he didn't know who they were, and you could get into trouble. You know, he said retweets can, quote, cause problems because you never know who's doing it to start off with. Not that it makes him pause before he does it. He just does it anyway. Britain First wasn't a big story in the United States. It was a huge story. He left these tweets up for like a couple of weeks after it became a very big story in the United States, because what he tweeted out from this, you know, white supremacist group in Britain, Britain First, was a video of a Dutch boy who didn't look so Dutch, kicking the crap out of a Dutch boy who did look so Dutch. And so he assumed that the Dutch boy who didn't look so Dutch to him was an Islamic terrorist. And he was Dutch. He was a little Dutch boy, and the two of them were fighting. That's what he retweeted. I mean, you know, and Piers Brosnan, okay, or Piers Morgan, whatever. Oh, my God. He actually has a job. He's still working. I can't believe it. And he sits there and tolerates the president. You know, he was the first winner of The Apprentice. Piers Morgan Brosnan, whatever. You know, he was the first winner of The Apprentice. So he's interviewing Donald Trump, the reality TV star, as the winner of the reality TV star's reality show. It's such a sick media environment that we're in. But anyway, Trump says it again. I'm the least racist person you ever met. This is like a chant. You know, if you are the least racist person that we've ever met, why do you have to keep answering the question about whether or not you're racist? You see, the amount of times that the question is caused to be asked should tell you he's a racist. It's unbelievable. I'm the least racist person you ever met. He's going to be mumbling that till the day that they have like liquid Big Macs being, intubated into his system to keep him alive. You know that. He's going to say this till the day he dies. And then he starts doubling down. I'll do anything to protect America from radical Islamic terror. Radical Islam. It was radical Islamic. It was two Dutch kids getting into a fight like after school. What's wrong with this man? I think he thinks if he says radical Islamic terrorism enough times, it will make it, real. I mean, he's got a view of the world like a 3-year-old child does. If I keep saying it, it will be real. And if I close my eyes, you can't see me. La, 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 la. I can't hear you. I can't. This is a crazy man. This is a crazy man. He refuses to apologize for retweeting racist, white supremacist crap. I don't know them. I just retweeted a radical, group. I just retweeted radical, white supremacists. I just retweeted them, But I'll do anything. If Britain's attacked, I'll do anything. I'll do whatever I have to do. I mean, this is a very sick thing.
They had a couple of depictions of radical Islamic terror. Radical Islamic terror, whether you like talking about it or not, Piers, is
No,
fact.
I'm going to come and talk about
because,
it.
you look at what's going on. You look at what's going on in UK.
I'm going to.
You look at what's going on all over the world.
You're absolutely right about that.
So we can try and shield it and say,
I'm not shielding anything. I do just want to get one thing out of you. Given the amount of offence it caused, do you regret now those retweets? And do you wish you, with hindsight, hadn't done it?
Well, look, it was done because I am a big believer in fighting radical Islamic terror. This was a depiction of radical Islamic terror.
But they were unverified videos. At least one of them was not what it seemed.
They are, but this was, I didn't do it. I didn't go out and I did a retweet. It was a big story where you are, but it was not a big story where I am.
I get that.
It wasn't a big story where I am. A lot of the things that they read to him in the presidential daily briefing is not a big story where we are. Like giving Syria to Russia, not a big story. Whether or not we have back channels to North Korea, it's in the briefing, but it's not. What's going on in Afghanistan? There was this big bombing in Kabul, not a big story here. But I mean, that doesn't mean that the leader of the free world shouldn't know about white supremacist, video. Oh, it's so futile. It really is. He's never going to stop. This man can barely sit up and talk. I mean, he is such a primate. He's a orangutan. I mean, it's a orangutan's ass. Wow. I had to show you that because it's just bizarre. And then, of course, over the weekend we had the Grammys. Anybody still watch the Grammys? The old DJ in me still watches the Grammys. I love the Grammy. And I was very pissed off, I have to say, because CBS Golf went long last night. Golf. Sorry, Howard. Sorry, Steve. My Howard and his friends, they golf. Oh, God. The only thing worse than golf to me is watching it on the TV. I don't understand it. But it went long and it cut into the red carpet arrivals at the Grammys. Do you know how offensive that is to me? Because the Grammys have the best outfits because it's not the Oscar. Listen, this year they had the SAG Awards were good fashion. It was okay. But then before that, what did they have? What was the first awards? The Golden Globes. Everybody wore black. So I got gypped. I mean, everybody wore black. It was black. And none more black. You know what I mean? The only one that did a black and white, kind of a take on the black for the Me Too, Time's Up thing was Janney. What's her name? Allison Janney. Oh, did you see I, Tonya? Have you seen I, Tonya? You have to see it. Oh, it's the best. Well, I love a biopic because, my life story will be the next one that Reese Witherspoon makes. If I can get her to read it, because it's awesome. But, so, Allison Janney did a black and white. I actually had to look up the designer because it was awesome. It was some guy named Ricci in Italy. So I was like, oh, I love that dress. But then, the SAG Awards, she wore like a silver number. Oh, it was just wow. And then last night they cut, the Grammys are more cutting edge. Did you see Lady Gaga last night? Did you see Kesha with her Me Too moment? Everybody was crying, not a dry eye in the house. It was beautiful. And then building up to the Grammys, Van Jones has his own show now, and he interviewed Jay-Z, Sean Carter, and Sean Carter, who is Jay-Z, was talking, very personally about the president calling, certain countries, crap holes and stuff like that. And it's like his racism, the Trump stuff is getting on everybody's last freaking nerve.
We have a president that comes and says every African country is a shithole country. Mm-hmm. I mean, how does that land with you as a dad?
Yeah, it's disappointing and it's hurtful. It really is hurtful, more so. Like, everyone feels anger, but after the anger, it's really hurtful because, like, you're looking down on a whole population of people, and you're so misinformed because these places have beautiful people and have beautiful everything. Yeah. And it's just, like, this is the leader of the free world speaking like this. But on the other side, this has been going on. Yeah. This is how people talk. This is how they talk behind closed doors. There was a moment where Donald Sterling had been exposed as this racist on a private phone conversation that he was having, and they took his team from him. And it's like, okay, that's one way to do it, but another way would have been let him have his team, and then let's talk about it together, and let's maybe some penalties, but because once you do that, right, all the other closet racists just run back in the hole. You haven't fixed anything. What you've done was spray perfume on a trash can. And what you do when you do that is, the bugs come and you spray something and then they come and then you create a super bug, right? Because you don't take care of the problem. You don't take the trash out. You just keep spraying whatever over it to make it acceptable. And then, as those things grow, then you create a super bug. And then now we have Donald Trump, the super bug. I'm being funny. I think I say that too. But somewhere along his lineage, something happened to him. Something happened to him, and he's in pain, and he's like expressing it in this.
Something happened to him. And so, what does the president or the leader of the free world do? He tweets at Jay-Z. Somebody please inform Jay-Z that because of my policies, black unemployment has just been reported to be at the lowest rate ever recorded in caps. Which policy, Donald? Which policy is that caused black unemployment to still be twice the rate of white unemployment, but falling? Which policy of Donald Trump, which piece of legislation did Donald Trump pass that did anything for black unemployment? And how in the world are all blacks in the same boat? And just like all whites are in the same. This is just amazing. So I actually went to look because I'm so sick of this stupid thing of him taking credit for what Obama did on unemployment in general. On, creating jobs. I mean, remember when Obama first became president, we were losing jobs under the previous Republican administration, 800,000 jobs a month, every month we were losing. We had a great recession. Now, if you lost your house, or if you lost your 401k, or if you lost, your job, it wasn't a great recession. It was a great depression. So Obama had to come in and start a stimulus package. He had to do a bailout of the automobile industry. I mean, all these things led to, a prosperous economy. We've been growing for the last, 11 years. So I looked, I just can't even believe it. And it looks like the unemployment rate among black Americans last year fell 1 percentage point. But during the same period in 2016, it also fell a percentage point. In 2015, it fell 2 percentage points. In the previous year, 2014, it fell 1.5 percentage points. And the year before that, it fell almost 2 percentage points. What the hell is this man taking credit for that he did to help black unemployment? It's so sick. He's such a twisted individual.
In this Me Too moment and this Time's Up moment, does that give you hope for your daughters? I mean, how do you make...
Oh, this is the Me Too one. I wanted the black unemployment. I'm telling you, it was like the most amazing thing ever to sit there and watch Donald Trump. We have a president who gets into a Twitter war with Jay-Z, everybody, with Jay-Z, and defends a retweet of white supremacist websites depicting fake videos of a little Dutch boy beating up another little Dutch boy, but one little Dutch boy didn't look the way Donald Trump imagines all Dutch people to. Are they still wearing clogs in your freaking white supremacist world? Are we still wearing white bonnets, the little Dutch girls? Oh my God. Please, people, please. And that whole Grammys, the reason why I bring it up, honestly, yes, I love the fashion. I saw more Balmain blazer. I believe Bono was wearing a Balmain blazer. I believe he was. Everyone wore Balmain last night. It was just wow. But the reason why I bring it up is because that Grammys award, you know, we always say, where is the music for our time? Where is the music for our time? We need music for our time. Something to galvanize people. Then I realized, oh, well, the radio doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. Clear Channel killed the radio. But I bring it up because it was a big F you to Donald Trump. It was an awesome, awesome F you to Donald Trump, to sexual assault, and the whole Donald Trump philosophy of misogyny and racism. It was beautiful. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.